LeBron went out March 20th against the Atlanta Hawks, and when LeBron went out, since that Atlanta Hawks game, the Lakers were number 3 in the conference, and they were only, I want to say, 2.5 games back from number 1. Since that Hawks game where LeBron had went down, they played against the Suns, and tonight they played against the Pelicans, and down they are 0-2, right? So they lost against the Suns 111, and they 111-94, and now they just lost to the Pelicans 128-111. We in March. There's no timetable on when LeBron is coming back. There's no timetable on when Anthony Davis is coming back. And as we see through a 2-game sample without LeBron and without AD, the Lakers look poo cheese. So Sedacious or Isaac, whichever one or y'all want to take the tea on that, like, how much of a cause for concern is this? And hold on, I'll take that question back. How soon does LeBron and AD need to come back for like there to still be championship like aspirations, or like or it'd be more realistic for them to make that championship run? Because we know how tight the West can be and how you can easily go from 3 to 6 or 7. So like, yeah.
As far as them keeping a high enough seed to where they don't have to play into the play-in tournament, which Adam Silver has kind of implemented these last couple of years, I think it is a definite cause for concern, right? Because there's no real timetable on LeBron, but I think it can kind of be a blessing in disguise, right? Because the quick turnaround that these guys have had due to the deep postseason run prior to. So, this is to be expected, in my opinion. I wasn't. Go ahead, E.
Oh no! When LeBron had went down, my initial thought was like, "Oh, like you just said, like, oh, that's a blessing in disguise. He get that rest he need, right?" But like, I think not having everybody that you had last year, and with certain pieces that moved around and so on and so forth, like, while it could look like a blessing in disguise due to rest for like your key star players, like you want to talk about like
be a plague in plain sight
because right, because like
a lot of the playoffs.
That, or like everybody says, you want to be playing your best basketball going into the playoffs, not trying to get your guys back, trying to like get that rhythm,
the chemistry back rolling, right? So I think LeBron needs to. I think he needs to have one of those superhero Herculean, recovery efforts to where he need to be back like, yesterday type vibe. It really, because the West is, like you said, man, the West is a fucking gauntlet, man. So, and it hasn't gotten any easier, though the Rockets are a flaming heap of hot garbage. We'll get to that, a little later. But, yeah, man, like the West is very tightly and closely contested. So, man, you lose 3-4 straight, you start looking around like, damn, man, we floating around 5-6 seed. And then, Lord forbid, you drop some more, you fucking around, you got to go in for the play-in tournament, So they definitely need to be, on concern, and everybody needs to be, held accountable and be trying to play at their highest level right now. Go ahead.
I know you just mentioned the play-in tournament. To my understanding, I thought that was just something implemented for the bubble. So is that a new thing continuing on past the bubble, Isaac?
From how I've been hearing it talked about, I think there may be something going forward due to the shortened season, right? So because they're playing 70-something odd games, right? I think they're still doing the format of the play-in, right? So those last few games will determine, who will be able to, get those last seeded spots. So I think it's, like I said, man, I think it's pretty pivotal, man. I think it's definitely pretty pivotal.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's cause for concern, major cause for concern. I think it's gonna go to the Nets this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. It says that LeBron is out indefinitely, and just the chemistry of the Lakers without LeBron was always gonna be out of whack if you take LeBron out. You know what I'm saying? You can put AD in, and they still won't beat New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Brooklyn. My bad, Brooklyn. They still won't beat Brooklyn. So, I mean, yeah, season's over in my opinion. Yeah, I just got to find a good enough team in the West to ride with to go up against the juggernaut coming out East. And yeah, at the beginning of the season, I said Lakers, Nets. Now it's like whoever could, survive out the West going up against the Nets. And the Nets will probably take it. No bullshit.
So a quick rundown of like their schedule, just I guess the next few couple of games that they got coming up. So they play the Sixers, who I believe is number 1 in the East. They play the Sixers tomorrow. I'm lying, they play them Thursday. Then they play the Cavs. Then they got the Magic. Then they got the Bucks. Then they got the Kings. Then they got the Clippers. They have the Kings top of April, as well as the Clippers. Then the Raptors and the Heat. So I mean, they don't have gimme games. I mean, maybe they could squeeze out a few of them games.
Man, that's looking tough.
Hey, yo, Edward.
It's looking tough.
That ain't happening, Edward.
They are having the play-in tournament from May 18th through to May 21st.
And that's what I knew. So look out. The Lakers could very well be a participant in that if Lebanon James of the James clan is not making swift return.
With that being said, how many weeks is he supposed to be out?
It's undecided right now.
With that being said, if he has a chance to make it to those play-in games and they are qualified for it, if it gets to that bad, that's the right amount of stuff to get them jump-started for the playoffs with the right person. So if that happens and they fall into that play-in scenario, they have a very good chance of like making it work.
I think anybody in their mama would take LeBron in a play-in game.
The play-in will get them back into the groove.
I mean,
not
because
to have potential, but it'll get them back.
And whoever the number 1 seed is, granted, if that's the Utah Jazz, I like that first round. If the Lakers
I'll take it, Isaac.
I'm putting my money on LeBron.